The National Football League has existed for over 100 years. And in my analysis, for quarterback play and quarterback statistics, there are three different eras. And the quarterbacks should only be evaluated with other quarterbacks of their same era. This is my Substack post about this topic. Just put it up a couple days ago. Gonna review it. Got into this because of my HR background, evaluating people in all kinds of work. And I often couldn't talk about particulars due to confidentiality. From 1956 to 1994, the NFL outlawed having a radio in the quarterback's helmet. Plays could still be sent in by a player. For example, Hank Stram sent in Gloucester Richardson to Len Dawson with the play 65 toss power trap in Super Bowl IV. Paul Brown sent in guard Chuck Noll, later Steelers head coach, but sent in a play to quarterback Otto Graham. The NFL would not allow plays to be called in by radio excuse me, from 1956 to 1994. That was a rule. Before that, there was a long one-platoon era. If a player departed, he could not return. The rules varied some year by year. Players were not sent in plays. The quarterback always called his own plays. These are three distinct eras of quarterback play. The era where it's called in to the helmet, the era where it could only be sent in by messenger, and the era where they were not sent in. So, of the first era, in summary, Sid Luckman of the Chicago Bears was, in one-platoon football, was the best quarterback of that era. The second era, very long era, the best quarterback was Bart Starr of the Green Bay Packers. And of the current era, where plays can be called into the helmet, the best is Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit. The NFL's in the entertainment business. And that's the way they present statistics. They're not useful statistics for the most part. And I'm glad that guys are into NFL statistics, but most of those I see aren't that helpful either. Otherwise, they'd be doing what I'm telling you. Tom Brady won 7 Super Bowls. And people say, well, that's most Super Bowls anybody won, so he must be the greatest quarterback. But that's an example of NFL entertainment propaganda, not proper social science evaluation or business evaluation. And NFL is a very unusual business. It flouts the antitrust laws. It was found to be an illegal monopoly back in the 80s, but they just keep going because Donald Trump only won $1. So Tom Brady there were seasons, he played more seasons than this, but he was injured or wasn't the starter the whole season, or even most of the season. So of the 17 seasons where he started most of the games, he won 7 Super Bowls, 7 NFL championships. But compare Tom Brady to Otto Graham. He played 10 seasons total as starter, not 17. He took his team to the championship game 10 times, and like Brady, won 7 championships. But Graham did that in 10 seasons, not 17. Graham has the better record. Brady won 41%, the championship, 41% of his seasons as starter. Graham won the championship 70% of his seasons as starter. He's much better than Brady. Bart Starr won the championship 50% of his seasons as starter. Now, you can point out that Graham won 4 of those championships, not in the NFL, in the AAFC, but all credible sources, and I'm excluding NFL propagandists, the AAFC was the better league in those seasons. One of the NFL teams left the NFL for the AFC, and many of the players. So subtract Otto Graham's AAFC championships. Otto Graham won 3 NFL championships out of 6 seasons. He's 50%, 50% of the time with Otto Graham as your starting quarterback wins the NFL championship. Took his team to the NFL championship game all 6 seasons, but Otto Graham did not call his own plays. Paul Brown called these plays. Patrick Mahomes has only played 7 seasons as starter, but won 3 Super Bowls. He has taken his team to the conference championship game all 7 seasons, winning 5, and he's lost 2 Super Bowls. In the one-platoon era, where they did not send in plays, although Sid Luckman was on the roster for portions of 12 seasons, he won the NFL title 4 times in his 7 seasons as primary starter for the Chicago Bears. If you look at his records, you see that, and in the Pro Football Hall of Fame introduction, they say that expressly. He was only the primary starter for 7 seasons. And in those 7 seasons, won the championship 4 times. Now, he also, think about this. He played 60 minutes. He stayed in the whole game. He played defense and special teams. In college, he played the same. Finished 3rd in the Heisman Trophy vote. He was known to be one of the greatest football players in America. And when George Halas hired him, he was kind of the Joe Namath at the time. He immediately made Sid Luckman the highest paid player in the NFL. Including playoffs on defense, in his NFL career, Sid Luckman intercepted 20 passes. He led the NFL in punting 1 season. So defense, special teams, and on offense, he led the NFL in passing 3 seasons. At the height of his career, he missed an entire season because he volunteered to serve in World War II. He was not just an entertainer, but an American citizen and patriot. Now remember, pro football is just entertainment. That's what it is. That's what they pay taxes on, as entertainers. Now, Joe Montana was his team starter for 10 seasons, 8 with the 49ers, 2 with the Chiefs. He won 4 Super Bowls in 10 seasons. Terry Bradshaw was the primary starter of 8 seasons. He won the Super Bowl 3 times in the seasons he was the primary starter. In his career, he won 4 Super Bowls. But one season, he took over just in the second half of the season. Now, is it fair to bestow the entire season on a backup who only started half the games? Well, we'll have 2 different numbers. 4 Super Bowl victories in 9 seasons, 3 in 8 seasons. And we really should look at the 3 and 8 seasons where he was the primary starter for the entire season. So the top quarterbacks list looks like this. Otto Graham, we also had to give him 2 different numbers. 10 pro football seasons, 70% of the time he won the league championship. Sid Luckman, in his 7 NFL seasons, won the league championship 57% time. Otto Graham, in his 6 NFL seasons, won 50% of the time. Bart Starr, 50% in 10 seasons. Bradshaw, 9 seasons, 44%. Patrick Mahomes, in 7 seasons as starter, after he took over from Alex Smith, won the championship 42% of the time. Tom Brady, in 17 seasons, won the championship 41% of the time. Joe Montana, 40%, and Bradshaw, 38%. All great. Now divide them into quarterbacks who called their own plays and those who just try to execute what someone else decided. Sid Luckman, starter, 7 NFL seasons, called his own plays, one-platoon football, 57% of the time. He won the NFL championship. Bart Starr, 50% of the time he won the championship. And if you give the 9 seasons, then it's Terry Bradshaw. Where others call the plays, the best quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, he's won the championship 42% of the time. Brady, 41% of the time, and Montana, 40%. Now, Tom Brady, although he's won 7, is not number 1 in any era. And by the way, a guy who just barely missed being in this discussion, in his last season at Louisville in college, he played one-platoon football. He led his college football team in passing. No surprise, he was their starting quarterback. He also led Louisville in tackles on kickoffs. He was in the game for 60 minutes, including special teams. He ran down and led his team in tackles on kickoffs. He also he played safety on defense. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm not really fully well. To compare quarterbacks, one must compare them with other quarterbacks in the same era. And in my HR work, I would say it's the same with baseball players, presidents, and executives of all sorts. Ball players, Major League Baseball, they've got a lot of records, and they really should be divided up into multiple eras, just as I've divided these quarterbacks into 3 eras. It can be parsed down. 3 is a good representative decision as I've outlined it here.